If your team crumbles at every curveball, it might not be a talent problem. It might be a resilience one. But here's the good news. Resilience isn't just built and nurtured in individuals. It can also be built across teams and instilled within culture. And in this video, I'm sharing how to turn any team into one that adapts faster, supports deeper, and grows through change challenge. A team where constant change is actually their competitive advantage. Let's talk about it. Teams today are facing constant change, whether it's AI, layoffs or workforce reductions, role shifts, reorganizations, integrating other technologies, systems, changes everywhere and all the time. And in truth, the most successful teams are not the smartest, they're the most adaptive. That's true today, and I think it's going to become a bigger truth as we advance into the future. And it's resilient teams that don't avoid the hard moments. They don't avoid the tough times. They move through them together and become stronger because of it. Let me actually break down the three qualities of a resilient team as I see them. One, they're a strong psychological safety, and it's nurtured at the very top. So the leader of the team is modeling and nurturing that psychological safety. That means the team, every member, feels safe sharing their truest emotions, not just the ones that are perceived as positive, but the more challenging ones as well. They feel comfortable expressing their thoughts, their sentiments, to be the dissenting voice in the room, to offer differing perspectives, right? There's a safety to do that. To be clear, what colors a psychologically safe team is there is permission to take risk, there's open communication, there's trust and respect for each other, there's interpersonal vulnerability, absence of fear or insecurity about speaking up and speaking out. The second quality of a truly resilient team is a shared ownership of stress. No one has to go about feeling that stress alone. There is opportunity to voice when stress exists, what's driving that stress, how the work can get redistributed so that individuals can help support those who might be feeling stress, and that everyone on the team is aware when that stress exists. And to be clear, it's not about aiming to resolve a certain individual stress load, but rather having the awareness and the acknowledgement that it's there so that they don't have to go at it alone, so that the team knows to support them, to make sure they're asking questions of what support might look like from them. And the third quality of a truly resilient team is purpose-centered recovery. Whatever that purpose might be for your team, the reason for your existence, whether that be certain performance metrics, whether that be to deliver certain things to your stakeholders, to your partners, whatever that purpose is, the reason that recovery is nurtured, that people are invited to take time, to take a beat, to share lessons learned, it's in service of that purpose. The reason that the leader advocates for this recovery is not because they're trying to be liked or not because they're trying to win everybody over, but it's to drive and deliver the purpose, the reason that they exist. It's a shared understanding that without recovery, we're going to pose the risk of getting burnt out, of experiencing change fatigue, and not being able to be the best team and deliver the best of ourselves and deliver that purpose. So now let's get into 5 ways, 5 tactics that you can actually begin building resilience across your team. And this is not just buzzwords. The first tactic is to normalize the debrief. So whenever the team has gone through something that might be very challenging, that might be stressful, there's an opportunity to have a debrief on what was learned. There's opportunity to put language to the emotions that were experienced. Everyone has an opportunity to share their thoughts, their sentiments, their concerns, and really thinking about, okay, what could we learn from this? What can we learn from this? What do we wish to carry forward? These debrief sessions are so wonderful because not only are they giving you an avenue to nurture learning from challenging, tough times, but it's also building connection and authentic connection amongst the team. Because they're voicing and sharing, this was really challenging, this is how I was feeling going through it, and here's what I learned about myself, here's what I learned about you, and here's what I learned about this team, and here's what I personally am excited to bring forward because of it. The second tactic, and I love this one, create a team resilience agreement. This is a great tactic to use if you're just starting out as a new leader of a team, or honestly at any point that you've been leading your team. And it's a way for you at all to create a charter on how you're going to show up when the tough times come, right? When the really, really big challenges come through. So there's 3 questions that I want you to ask of your team, and all of you agree to the responses. And you can revisit it during tough times, okay? The first one being, how do we want to show up when things go sideways? Question number 2, how do we wish to support each other when feeling pressure? And third and finally, what's okay and what's not okay when we are experiencing pressure and stress? This is such a beautiful way to get informed, to know how to support each other when you're moving through challenging times. And of course, it's best to create this agreement or this charter when you're not in the throes of something really big or something really challenging. So try to do this at some point during a lull or when you're first joining a team as a leader. This is a great way to fuel your onboarding, to let them get to know you and for you to come to know the team as well. Because what truly sets resilient teams apart when challenges hit is they're not simply rising to the occasion. They're actually falling back on agreements. The third tactic is to integrate or build some type of recovery ritual throughout the work week. This is some type of activity that can set a consistent rhythm across the week to invite and create a container for recovery. So this might look like every Monday morning, perhaps you're going around the table, going around the Zoom call, setting intentions. This is the intention that I have for the week. Something that I do with my team is we have a gratitude rampage at the start of our lead team meetings every Monday, and we simply all express what we're grateful for. What did we achieve in the prior week, what we're excited about in the weeks to come, and it nurtures this feeling of gratitude, and it creates this safe space to share gratitude and allow that energy to take hold. And I love it because it always starts the week on such a good note. You might also want to do Friday reflections. This might be where you're asking one another, what was one hard thing that you faced during the week, and what did you learn from that hard thing? You're making time for those reflections. You're making time for you all to recover together and think about, bring awareness to how you're moving through difficult things or how you anticipate moving through more challenges. Tactic number 4, practice rotational ownership during change. Now, this isn't about changing roles and responsibilities or taking your leadership hat off and giving it to somebody else on your team when you're going through a change challenge. No, it's about creating roles and then rotating that ownership. And I'm talking about roles like the stress captain, the optimism spotter, or the boundary keeper. These are roles that you assign that are responsible, like the stress captain, to identify, I feel there's stress in the room, I feel there's stress related to this, let's take a beat and let's talk about it. Let's bring awareness to what that is. The optimism spotter is responsible for spotting the wins, spotting the things that need to get celebrated, and they're doing that on a consistent basis. And the boundary keeper is about keeping watch to prevent change fatigue. And it's calling attention to where they think the team needs to be saying no, or perhaps even members of the team need to be saying no. Now, you can probably guess, a team has to garner and have nurtured a lot of trust for these roles to exist and for them to actually be effective. But if you can introduce them and at least start using them and celebrating when the roles, those who are responsible for it, are doing what you want them to do, then people will feel more comfortable, more safe, and actually getting that role and doing it the way that you wish them to do. And finally, tell resilient stories and tell them often. This is about taking the opportunity, perhaps it's once a month, to ask the question, let's talk about a time when this team overcame something really hard. Let's talk about what we did. Let's talk about what made us able to do this, right? I want you to own being a resilient team. I want everyone on the team to feel that power, right? To feel that pride in the fact that they work, that they thrive, that they nurture a resilient team. So make sure you're bringing them back to the data. You're talking about the stories. You're celebrating the wins that they had, the learning that they had, the biggest failures, and what you learned from them. That will nurture your signature as a resilient team. So before you go, I know you want something for free, and I have it for you. Click the link below. You're going to get a free chapter of my best-selling book, Change Enthusiasm, How to Harness the Power of Emotion for Leadership and Success. This is about nurturing resilience within yourself, a mindset that you can begin practicing and role modeling, and hopefully start inviting those around you to put this mindset into practice as well. It's an introduction to the mindset, some tips, some tactics, completely for free. Now, until we meet again, I want you to stay resilient. I want you to keep learning, keep growing, stay curious, and above all else, keep rocking.